Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And man, what a beautiful day it was today. Looking down from our Badger Mountain camera this afternoon down at the Columbia River. Still a few snow-capped peaks out there, but all in all, boy, it's pretty much gone away here in the Wenatchee Valley, and we have a nice stretch of weather at least through tomorrow before the next round of storminess moves in by the weekend. But remember, this time of year where we see rain and melting snow, which we have seen over the past week or so, it freezes a little bit at night and then rethaws the next morning. That causes potholes, and we are seeing plenty of those around the Wenatchee Valley as well. But as I mentioned, our weather is shifting just a little bit. We will see some more snow possibly this weekend with temperatures just slightly cooler. More on that a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An official with the Federal Reserve Bank headlined the Economic Leadership Roundtable in Wenatchee today. And a simple gym workout for a very observant off-deputy Othello police officer yesterday results in the arrest of a man wanted on a DOC warrant. But first we begin tonight. 8 firefighting vehicles, including 3 ladder trucks, responded to a fire just before 1 o'clock this afternoon near Malaga on Hamlin Road. It appears that an outbuilding or shop adjacent to a resident was the building on fire, but details were not available at news time. The cause of that fire is still unknown, and we will bring you more information as it becomes available. Alcoa stock is trading higher this morning as the company released its fourth quarter earnings report yesterday. The company reports $11.7 billion in revenue for the year, which is up 25% from 2016 on higher aluminum and aluminum pricing. But company CEO Roy Harvey says there are no immediate plans to restart the Wenatchee Works smelter.
Timing is the middle part of this year. It would be around, I believe, June or July. And the amount is around $63 million. We've not made a decision on whether we would restart Wenatchee at this point, and we'll be running through the numbers and discussions with Chilean PUD in the first quarter of this year.
The Wenatchee smelter curtailed operations in 2016, resulting in the layoff of over 400 employees. 2017 saw soaring aluminum prices, which allowed the company to post strong earnings. NASDAQ reports if current market conditions keep up for another year, then Alcoa's business could get even stronger and its rainy day fund even larger. Well, laid-off Alcoa workers remain hopeful for a restart of the pot lines in Wenatchee. Speaking on behalf of the Wenatchee Aluminum Trades Council, Kelly Woodard tells NCW Life News that market conditions appear to be favorable for a possible return to work.
The Wenatchee Aluminum Trades Council and the Steelworkers Union and all the unions out here at the plant, we'd like to encourage Alcoa to restart Wenatchee Works because we believe the time is right. The LME, London Metal Exchange prices for aluminum is up about $800 a metric ton. And then, with looks like we're going to have a pretty decent runoff. So power should be plentiful in the spring, and it's a good time to start. And then Alcoa should be flush with cash with their stock going up the last year about 70%. So we're just hoping and keeping our fingers crossed that they restart this plant soon.
Woodard says Alcoa will benefit from China's cutting back on its own aluminum production.
The production and cutback in China is huge, and if they follow through what they say, then there should be some more cutbacks. And then another wild card in the whole deal is a possibility of the administration in the White House putting a tariff on foreign aluminum coming in. So all those things add up in our view, is pretty positive.
Woodard says he looks forward to Alcoa's planned meeting with Chelan County PUD and is hopeful for a positive outcome regarding the company's energy contract. An official with the Federal Reserve Bank headlined the Economic Leadership Roundtable in Wenatchee earlier today. Darlene Wilczynski is the chief executive of the Federal Bank Seattle branch office. She and Stamilt President Wes Matheson updated local business leaders on the role of the federal bank and how it affects the local economy.
What we realized right away is that when people think of the Fed, they think of Janet Yellen, the FOMC. And what we really wanted them to understand is that local regional reach that we have. And so that's the way I've structured my presentation. I talk about the structure of the Fed. I talk about, the things that we do, but I bring it all back to a local perspective and how it impacts us locally and how we get Wes' voice from here in Wenatchee to Washington, D.C. So how that translation happens. And I think that's what's really important for us all, is to know that our voices are being heard. And so that's why we really appreciate having Wes on the board, because we get that local perspective.
Matheson also serves on the Fed Bank's regional board of directors representing the ag industry.
So part of the topics that I talk about are, trade, what is the challenges of the industry, what are maybe constraints like labor, what are some of the other developments going on in the industry, what are the challenges with ports and stuff like that. So those are the things that I primarily talk about.
Today's roundtable event was sold out at the Wenatchee Convention Center. You can see the entire interview with Matheson and Wilczynski on Monday's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program. Well, a simple gym workout for a very observant off-duty Othello police officer yesterday results in the arrest of a man wanted on a DOC warrant. As the off-duty officer was walking into a gym in Moses Lake yesterday around 1 o'clock, he noticed a vehicle he knew to be stolen out of Othello. The officer called Moses Lake police officers, who responded and were able to locate and stop the vehicle on North Stratford Road. Since there had been a firearm in the vehicle when it was stolen, officers took all 4 occupants in the vehicle into custody. The driver, identified as 30-year-old Daniel Simpson, is no stranger to Moses Lake police officers. He was found to have a Department of Corrections warrant for a probation violation, and this is the 6th time Moses Lake police officers have arrested him on a DOC warrant in the last year. Simpson was also found to be in possession of heroin and was booked into the Grant County Jail on charges of a stolen vehicle, possession of heroin, and that DOC warrant. There may be additional charges following a search warrant on the vehicle earlier today. Coming up next, the Robert E. has been removed from the school that formerly bore the Civil War general's last name. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
Welcome back. And in other news, the Robert E. has been removed from the school that formerly bore the Civil War general's last name. Eastmont School District changed the name of the school after receiving numerous complaints, including this comment from a concerned parent.
Personally, I have 12 kids here, and out of those kids, they've been called racist names. I can't even count as high how many times. And usually it's the backdrop of Lee School. They can go there and play basketball. I live right up the street. And if we spent more time teaching our kids better manners, proper respect for a person's culture and their race, this issue wouldn't even be taking place. Get rid of the name, change it. I guarantee there's somebody in the state, in this area, who is well more deserving than a Confederate slave owner.
The change to Lee School was suggested by Superintendent Garn Christensen. He says the word means calm water, as in the leeward side of an island. Well, this Saturday, the Wenatchee Valley Museum will transform for the annual Night at the Museum experience, which features a brewery cider house, a relaxing coffee house, a speakeasy, and a wine bar. Lynn Kelly stopped by Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan Coons to talk more about the event.
The museum takes advantage of the entire museum. We are entering through the annex entrance, which is not the typical entrance, it's the other building, so that'll all be lit to get you in that door. And then you start in the apple industry and then go upstairs into the Our People, Our Place exhibit, and then across the way over to Coyote's Corner, which we convert to a coffee house. It's really fun. We pipe and drape it all into black and convert it into a coffee house and put one of our entertainers there. And then you go downstairs to the main entrance. And so it really is, it was amazing last year to see how many people came up to me afterwards and said, I've never seen that part of, you know, of the museum before. And so it just takes advantage of everything we have there.
Head to the website WenatcheeValleyMuseum.org for more information on tickets. And if you're up for a murder mystery with a little humor, consider heading to the Riverside Playhouse this weekend for the performance Death by Design. Set in an English country manor in 1932, director Marcus Bingham says the performance is a mysterious and delightful mashup of the two greatest English writers of all time.
The way it's pretty much structured after Agatha Christie's drawing room plays. So if you've seen The Mousetrap, the first act is kind of the introduction of the characters. They dribble in one at a time into the home in the country. And then at the end of the act, someone is murdered.
Right.
Act 2, everyone's pretty much on stage the whole time. The detective, which in our case is Bridget the maid, played by Terry Sloan, takes up the mantle of the detective. They're pretty much on stage until the very end when they kind of filter off.
The performance runs starting tonight at 7:30 p.m. with matinee and evening shows throughout the week. Visit the Music Theater of Wenatchee's website for more information and tickets. And before we head to commercial break, a reminder that about 400 customers in downtown Cashmere and neighborhoods in the area near the Wenatchee River will be without electric service starting at 10 p.m. tonight, so the Chelan PUD line crews can repair damage to an underground line as quickly and safely as possible. PUD staff determined the repairs are needed for safety and to keep service reliable. The crew is working at night to reduce the impact on customers. The outage will last no longer than 4 hours. People with concerns or questions about the planned outage can call 661-4325 or email customerservice@chelanpud.org. PUD staff is also notifying commercial customers in the outage area in person and by phone. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update, followed by today's featured story. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Stop on by today.
Antique Mall at Cashmere wishes you a happy and prosperous new year. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone. For repurposing projects, do-it-yourselfers, and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, this is the place to find your next project. Antique Mall at Cashmere, their friendly staff is here to help you. Stop on by today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Thursday. Wenatchee and Eisenhower came into last night's Big Nine wrestling match at Wenatchee High School winless in head-to-head matches, so something had to give. And unfortunately for the Panthers, they come up just short, having to forfeit 2 weights and gift the Cadets 12 points and a 36-33 loss. I had the call right here on the NCW Life channel.
Pretty decent crowd here on senior night tonight for this matchup between the Cadets and the Panthers. And a beautiful move by Tumading, gets a 2-point takedown. He's got that arm still. 1 second left. And the buzzer will sound. What a good match for our first one out of the box here tonight, as Jacob Tumading gets the victory by a final of 6-5 over Eric Chavez. Now Contreras has both. Look out. 2-point takedown. 19 seconds. Now the reversal attempt. They give him 2 points for the reversal. The wrestlers go out of bounds. It's an 8-6 lead for Velasquez. Tips him again. Case working from the bottom, trying to get him off balance. Kean Davis still holding as he looks up at the scoreboard, realizes he's got a full minute to go, looking for the pin. He's got it! Kean Davis with the pin in the third at 170 pounds over Dustin Case. Now he's got that power half turned on. Now he's got him tipped over, got a 2-point takedown, looking for the pin. And it's a pin for Carranza. 14 seconds into the second round. The half is in. Now he's reaching around to tip him over with 18 seconds left. 17, 16, and a pin. 3 pins in a row for the Wenatchee Panthers. 23 seconds left. Now the shot by Jimenez Manriquez. The official's got to watch for a dangerous hold there. And he covers the hips, gets the 2-point takedown. 8-2 with 10 seconds left. Now Jimenez Manriquez is going to turn him loose with the shot. Steps through, but he's out of bounds. Both wrestlers are up with 2 seconds to go. Trying to put her chest on that shoulder and force her down to the mat with 30 seconds left in the round. Leading it now 4-0. Well, make it 3 more near fall points coming up. And pin! 22 seconds left in the second round. Give the pin to Kelsey Ibarra.
Yeah, it was a good match for the crowd. I wish I had a full lineup. I guess that's the biggest thing. Giving up, 12 points, spotting them, that's tough. We battled with them all the way. We won the matches we were supposed to. They won the matches they were supposed to, and we just didn't come out ahead on the chalkboard there.
Coming up on the prep schedule for today, girls basketball, Wilson Creek is at Etienne. Waterville Mansfield hosts Manson, Cascade Christian and Easton and Chelan host Cascade. Those are all at 6 o'clock. On the boys' side, it's the exact same schedule with the start times at 7:30. There you have it. Etienne at home, Waterville Mansfield at home, Cascade Christian on the road, Chelan hosting Cascade. Also in sports, well, today is boys swimming. Actually, earlier today, Eastmont on the road to West Valley, and the battle for first place in the regular season Big Nine title decided at Wenatchee's Pool, where the undefeated Panthers playing host to the undefeated Moses Lake Chiefs. We'll have some results for you coming up tomorrow right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. One wrestling match tonight, Chelan at Pateras at 6. Also hockey night here on the NCW Life channel as the Wenatchee Wild take on the West Kelowna Warriors. We'll have that starting at 7 with the Call of the Wild in Clarkie's Corner. The game at 7:15. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, Eric. Last week, Washington Governor Jay Inslee outlined his agenda for the current legislative session in his State of the State address with an emphasis on education and the environment. In her Republican response, Kennewick Senator Sharon Brown said it will be up to both sides of the aisle to work together.
Speaking on behalf of my Republican colleagues, I want to implore Governor Inslee and the Democrats in both the Senate and the House to work with us in the coming session to do what's best for the entire state, not just what's good for the greater metropolitan Seattle area. For the past 5 years, a bipartisan majority coalition caucus made up of Republicans and fiscally conservative Democrats has controlled the Senate, while Democrats controlled the House of Representatives and the governor's mansion. In order to pass measures, members of both chambers had to debate, negotiate, and compromise. This split control, though grueling at times, protected our citizens from many harmful proposals and resulted in the passage of historic legislation. Because the Senate was led by Republicans and the House was controlled by Democrats, we were forced to debate, negotiate, and above all, compromise. We acted as one Washington. Under a Republican-led Senate, we passed the first ever college tuition reduction, a $16 billion transportation package, and a plan to fully fund basic education. Once our current education plan is fully implemented, with higher education included, we will be dedicating over 62% of our budget to education. There is an early and critical test on the horizon in this session that will gauge our Democrat colleagues' willingness to collaborate and compromise, and that is dealing with the Hearst decision. This Supreme Court ruling makes it nearly impossible to get permits for small household wells, and this is devastating to rural landowners. The lives and futures of our citizens are at risk, and our state's rural economies are in jeopardy. These rural wells in question represent less than 1% of the water usage in the state. Democrats in the House have resisted a proper fix, partly because of pressure from special interest groups, but also because their constituents are mainly in urban areas that do not depend on well access to develop and live on their property.
Be sure to tune in each week during the legislative session for live reports from Olympia on our show, The 12th District, right here on the NCW Life channel. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Time to replace your home comfort system? This Lennox dealer can help.
If it's time to replace your old furnace or air conditioner, Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives free estimates. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Honey, I got the space heater.
Make sure you survive winter. Call Central Washington Heating and Air before it's too late. This winter, don't get shocked by the cold. Call Central Washington Heating and Air today.
Time now for a recap of some of our top stories. 8 firefighting vehicles, including 3 ladder trucks, responded to a fire just before 1 o'clock this afternoon near Malaga on Hamlin Road. It appears that an outbuilding or shop adjacent to a resident was the building on fire, but details were not available at news time. The cause of the fire is unknown, and we will bring you more information as it does become available. Well, a simple gym workout for a very observant off-duty Othello police officer yesterday results in the arrest of a man wanted on a DOC warrant. As the off-duty officer was walking into a gym in Moses Lake yesterday around 1 o'clock, he noticed a vehicle he knew to be stolen out of Othello. The officer called Moses Lake police officers who responded and were able to locate and stop the vehicle on North Stratford Road. Since there had been a firearm in the vehicle when it was stolen, officers took all 4 occupants in the vehicle into custody. The driver, identified as 30-year-old Daniel Simpson, is no stranger to Moses Lake police officers. He was found to have a Department of Corrections warrant for a probation violation, and this is the 6th time Moses Lake police officers have arrested him on a DOC warrant in the last year. Simpson was also found to be in possession of heroin and was booked into the Grant County Jail on charges of a stolen vehicle, possession of heroin, and that DOC warrant. There may be additional charges following a search warrant on the vehicle that happened earlier today. The Robert E. has been removed from the school that formerly bore the Civil War general's last name. Eastmont School District changed the name of the school after receiving numerous complaints, including this comment from concerned parents, many comments from concerned parents. The change to Lee School was suggested by Superintendent Garn Christensen. He says the word means calm water, as in the leeward side of an island. Let's take a look now at your weather for north central Washington. But before we do that, let's take another peek outside our weather window. And what a beautiful day today with high temperatures, upper 30s and even some lower 40s around the area. As we take a look from our Badger Mountain cam down at the beautiful Columbia River, some clouds are beginning to move in and we will see mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. But as I mentioned, we experienced a beautiful weather day in north central Washington today. Quiet weather is also expected tonight and for most of Friday before a very active storm track kicks into gear beginning on Saturday and lasting at least through the middle of next week. We will see 2 large weather systems over this time period. The first is on Sunday, and you can see that on our satellite loop, not the one that's just off the British Columbia coast, but the one that's farther out in the Pacific. That's the one that will move in, bringing us a 70% chance of snow on Sunday with about an inch or 2 possible on the ground. By Tuesday and Tuesday night, we'll see another storm system move in. You can't quite see that one yet, but we do have a 60% chance of mainly rain showers and then a 40% chance of precipitation next Wednesday. Afternoon high temperatures will remain between 35 and 40 degrees with overnight lows dropping down to the upper 20s to near 30. Here's a look at your forecast now, and tonight we can expect 30 degrees, fairly decent tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies and 39, and then especially Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, that's when we'll see the snow begin to fall here in Wenatchee. That will last into our Sunday as well. 36 the high on Sunday to end our weekend. 40 on Monday with just a few scattered showers. And then more storminess on Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs then in the middle 30s. Overnight lows early next week in the upper 20s. Well, we leave you tonight with video taken yesterday of the large police procession prior to a celebration of life ceremony in honor of slain 34-year-old Pierce County Deputy Daniel McCartney. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with your host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99. It's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works. yourworkoutrx.com.